Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first day of November. November. Woo-hoo. We only have 2 more months to go in this year of 2022. Good morning, Chris Allen here on the Sam channel. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Well, yesterday was not a bad day for Halloween. It was cloudy. There was some patchy drizzle here and there, even a brief shower. But I think most everybody, from what I've seen on social media, everybody got out and dressed up and went trick or treating. I had a few at my door, and it was awesome, And it wasn't too bad. This morning we've got some fog, patchy fog in a couple of places, and look at that. Do you see that like I see it? Here's what I'm talking about. Let me show you. Right here. Look at that. Does that not look like a cat? Look, there's the tail, the ears, the mouth, the legs. Look at that. Maybe that's Halloween leaving. That's just fog, but it looks like a cat. Listen, if you think I'm crazy, you're probably right. But I've always been able to look at clouds and look at shapes and look at forms and say, you know what that looks like? That's just me. But anyway, on the weather side of things, cold front exiting, little specks of showers out here in eastern Kentucky. This is all fog, that thing that looks like a cat down in the middle Tennessee, Nashville. When you're headed toward Nashville, that area, you're going to find some fog, even some fog up around Barren River Lake and Lake Cumberland this morning. Skies are clearing here back to the west. So we will see sunshine today. It's just we're dealing with this little bit of leftover clouds and fog and maybe even a little bit of patchy drizzle in a couple of spots this morning. It looked like a cat to me. That's just me, though, again. Okay, let's look at the next 10 days up front. And let's see what's going to take place here as far as temperatures with a preview of the blend of models. And you can see that we're going to be pretty close to 70 today, I think. With the sun coming out after some morning clouds and fog, we will see some sunshine. So we'll get close to 70, if not hitting 70, then into the low to mid 70s over the next few days into the upcoming weekend. And rain chances are still there with that potent system that is going to move in, but it keeps slowing down. And there continues to be this little kind of lack of confidence that we're going to get a deluge of rain. I was really thinking we were going to get that, but now the models are kind of wishy-washy. I mean, again, it's one of those things. Even the National Weather Service forecasters are kind of like, like I said the other day, scratching their head. Okay, this could go one of two ways. As far as we're concerned, we could either get a really good soaking rainfall, which is something we desperately need, or we just get a little bit of rain and this thing just kind of hangs around for the weekend and then moves on. So this blend of models is taking that average of both scenarios and saying we're going to stay in the low to mid 70s through the rain over the weekend and then fall off in temperature by the middle and end of next week. So, that being said, let's look at the details and then you can kind of do your own forecasting if you want to, because right now I'm at one of those places where I'm a little flummoxed as to what's going to. I just don't take things at surface value. I just don't. I won't do it because it's proven me wrong so many times. And then there are times when just taking it at face value was the right way to go. It's weather, it's forecasting. It's never a sure bet. Never a sure bet. So we'll just have to wait this thing out and see what happens. Yes, I am saying I don't know. But how many forecasters will admit I don't know? Because they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like, well, I haven't done the research. And I've done the research. I've got my sheet here where I've broken everything down and looked at the different models and all the things I normally do. I have a passion for weather, have since I was a kid, but sometimes forecasts come along and you're like, "Psh, throw up your hands." Not really point. Okay, I am sure about temperatures. That one thing I am sure about. Temperatures starting out in the low 50s this morning will go, as I mentioned, upper 60s to about 70. A little cooler to the east with that passage of the cold front. Where you see some of these darker reds showing up, that's more upper 60s, low 70s. That's where the sun is going to come out today after some morning fog and cloud cover. Tonight, we could see more patchy fog in the areas. We drop into the low 50s for overnight lows, 52, 53 maybe. That's going to give us that perfect setup between the cool, wet ground and the drier air coming in, set up for fog. And then we go back to around 70 for a high temperature tomorrow, maybe low to mid 70s back to the west, and then mid to upper 60s to the east as we get into the day on Wednesday. But there will be more cloud coming in for Wednesday. Maybe even Wednesday morning, we could see maybe a few sprinkles over the area. I kind of hinted about that yesterday. Let's take a look at the future radar here. And you can see those departing showers that are with us this morning here over the eastern part of the state. These are just like light rain sprinkles and drizzle moving away. Skies will become sunnier. And I say that because it may not be completely sunny, especially if you live east of I-65. There still could be some lingering clouds. And even west of us, there may be a mix of clouds and sunshine today, especially as we get into the afternoon. And then here comes that little weak system I talked about yesterday coming in for early Wednesday morning with the possibility of some sprinkles or even a brief light rain shower. For us, it may be drizzle. This is that scenario where I said we could see virga. Virga is just rain falling out of the clouds and then evaporating near the ground because it's too dry. But there still could be enough saturation in the atmosphere to allow some raindrops to hit the ground tomorrow. In the morning, you could find some raindrops on your windshield. It's going to be that sort of thing. It's not going to be rainy, even though that looks, like there's a lot of coverage. Most of that you see right there until you get into far western Kentucky won't even reach the ground. So we're going to go with a cloudy, maybe drizzly start for Wednesday. And then as the day progresses, things do begin to clear up again. And we get into Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Friday looks sunny. Everything looks good until we head on in later into the actual weekend, like Saturday and Sunday. We'll start to see the rain chances pulling in. It keeps slowing down with each model run, and you'll be able to see that here on the maps this morning. So here's our current setup with not much going on here. That upper level energy departing the area with the drizzle and the clouds and the fog this morning, and still some return in far eastern Kentucky this morning. And here comes that Pacific storm that is going to be a potentially dynamic storm that's going to cross not only the Rockies, but get into the plains and bring us some rain this weekend. How much and when it arrives is the big question, or questions right now, the bigger questions. High pressure dominating us today and into Wednesday with that maybe little piece of energy in the morning. Here, it's not really painted in that much because the high pressure ridge is going to keep us fairly dry where we are at the surface. Above us, a few hundred feet, maybe 1,000 feet above us or whatever, there could be rain falling. It's going to be one of those type situations. Here comes the big storm out west with a lot of snow, a lot of mix, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Here we go into Wednesday night, into Thursday. We do warm up. You see the big warm up here, warm front to the north, the flow coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. At this moment, once we get into Thursday, the Gulf of Mexico is cut off from moisture. All of this is Pacific moisture as it moves in, but then eventually we will tap into some moisture out of the Gulf, and here comes our big system, and it begins to slow down. Rain, thunderstorms, maybe even severe weather in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri. This is into Friday midday. Friday evening, it draws closer, starts to get a little bit of a tilt to the left. That means it's getting stronger. It's a more dynamic system with, the thunderstorms and potentially heavy rain. As we get into Saturday, then it starts to really start to wrap around itself. But then, as I mentioned before, there's a possibility of what we call a closed low pressure system to form along that system. If it does, then I think we may see better potential of getting rain as we get into Sunday and Monday. In fact, that's what this map is showing, followed by yet another system coming out of the Pacific Northwest and the Rockies. Yeah. So this high pressure will hang on pretty strong, but eventually this is going to put a kink in the works. And I do think, even though on Monday right now we don't have much in the way of rain chances, I think if this does get organized and taps into a little more Gulf moisture, then we could be in for a soaking rainfall by Sunday night into Monday. Right now, the coverage is not very high, like 30-40%, but that could change. This is why this forecast is the head scratcher, because so many things could take place here and change. I'm just not going to look at it at the surface value, the face value. I'm going to be curious. I'm always curious, And I'm like, but this could happen. It's, it gets a little theoretic sometimes, and I have to really lean on bust factor, like, well, if this happens, then it won't happen. Or if this happens, then it will happen. It's one of those things that forecasters deal with all the time, and I've dealt with it all my life, sometimes with egg on my face afterwards, embarrassment, and the molly grubs after it. Oh, I blew that forecast. But at least I'll tell you that. At least I won't lie to you and tell you, here's my forecast, and you should bet everything on my forecast because I'm the greatest forecaster ever. No, I'm not. I'm not even close. There is no such thing, because if we were always right, man, I'd be betting horses and every ball games and everything else and winning tons of money. None of us are right all the time. Come on. Anyway, I do appreciate your trust in me. That's what I'm trying to say. And for giving me the chance to be wrong every once in a while. But let's give it another day or two and see because we need this rain. We really do. We need a lot of rain. All right, that'll do it for this first day of November. Headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7, the morning show 6 to 10. And let's kick off November. Today is going to be a special day because it is the beginning, the kickoff, always the day after Halloween, the kickoff of Affordable Christmas. Yes, we are there. We only have 1 month to get toys and gifts in and get them collected for Hope House of Bowling Green's Affordable Christmas. I'll have a special guest on this morning. Casey will be here from Hope House, as she always is, and we're going to kick this thing off in grand style. So I hope you join me. In the meantime, have a great Tuesday. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you, yes, you, on the radio